If you've been diagnosed with a diastasis recti or you suspect that you might have one, there's a good chance that some of the things that you're doing in your current workout could be working against you and making this worsen. So here are a couple of things that I wanted to highlight that I see in traditional Pilates practices that they do that could potentially, if you're not managing that intra-abdominal pressure correctly, can actually worsen a DR. So the first one is going to be traditional crunches or sit-ups. And so what I want you to note is that whenever you do traditional crunches, the pressure has to go somewhere. So the pressure is always going to go on the weakest link. So it's going to be pushed forward and pushed on the pelvic floor. So if you lift your head, neck, and chest up and you notice any sort of doming here, then I want you to go ahead and back off. That is where we want to make sure we get that foundational piece of activating our transverse abdominals and managing that intra-abdominal pressure. So that way, whenever we do lift and curl into that upper body curl or crunch or sit up, we're not pushing force on the abdominal wall, making it worse. So the second one is going to be full planks. Now, if you have a functional DR, you can do and hold a full plank if you can manage your intra-abdominal pressure correctly. So, but again, if you don't know how and you're in this full plank position, guess what? Pressure has to go somewhere. It's going to go on the weakest link, which is going to be the front of the abdominal wall. And so as you hold this plank position and you're breathing, we're forcing that pressure into that abdominal wall, making it worse. The next one is going to be your double leg lifts. And so in Pilates, we do this all the time, and I love this move. It's such a good core move. But at the same time, if you have a DR, which I did after having 3 babies back to back, I had a 2 to 3 finger gap, and I still have a little one that is underneath my belly button. So I had to really work hard on trying to get all of the foundational pieces together and work on obliques and transverse abdominals, managing that intra-abdominal pressure correctly so that I could build myself back up to doing some of these more challenging core moves. So again, just like sit-ups, but on the leg lifts, as we're here and you're lowering and lifting, guess what? Where the pressure is, it's all in this lower abdomen area. So again, if you have a DR that's anywhere from within the abdominal wall or even the low belly, you're going to notice some disconnection there and some bulging. And so that's what we don't want to do, is we don't want any bulging or exacerbating any of the doming or bulging to make that DR worse. So the next one is a really tough one for a lot of people. I think that whenever we lift heavy, if you don't know how to breathe properly with the mechanics of the lift, that can cause a lot of dysfunction in the body. Most of the time we think like, ooh, we might hurt our knees or we might hurt our back or something like that. Well, a lot of the time the pressure is going forward and down on the pelvic floor. So it can cause a diastasis recti or pelvic floor dysfunction if you're, again, lifting heavy and lifting with a higher exertion without that proper mechanic. So my key rule of thumb is whenever I strength train, I always execute whenever I'm exerting, or exhale whenever I execute. So exhale whenever I'm exerting energy or executing a move. Now the last one is the Russian twist or oblique twist. This one is just a tough one, I think, on the core in general. You might see a lot of people on YouTube doing these where, you know, they go back and forth. They might have a dumbbell in their hand. The issue is that, one, it's going very fast. You're putting a lot of pressure forward and side to side movement. So again, where is the pressure going to go? It's going to go forward. It's going to go on the pelvic floor. We're just now creating this mismanagement of pressure inside the abdominal wall that then pushes forward on that linea alba and can cause a DR or worsen a DR that's already there. So those are a couple of the exercises that I see a lot of people. If you have a DR, um, they they are doable once you can manage your intra-abdominal pressure correctly, or what you learn the foundations behind the movements and managing your breath. And I know breath is really hard because it's such a slow kind of foundational topic that, you know, a lot of times it's hard to make ourselves really go back to that foundational piece, but it's such a crucial piece. So my next video is going to actually go into the type of breathing patterns that I really like to do to get your body accustomed to managing that intra-abdominal pressure before you then take that into any movement. So stay tuned for the next video. And also, if you need something that is more of a guided healing plan, I've got you. I have created an on-demand platform that is specifically with a Diastasis Recti healing course series, to where I walk you through what I would walk one of my privates through with a DR to help them heal. And I will say personally that after having 3 babies back to back, I was able to heal my DR by doing all of these things, and really sticking with these foundational pieces to then increase my challenge and to gain that core strength as I laid all of the foundation down. So stay tuned, and I am so happy you're here.